So, a warm good evening to everyone. We all know her name. She's a DCJ for us. But let me give you a little hint of more about her. She's an IT graduate and had 8 years of experience in aviation field, including she has headed a travel desk for corporate, a big giant like Reliance Industries Limited for the Jamnagar branch. And right now, she's a founder for her startup of Rupees Fintech Limited. As a Toastmaster, she's a veteran, 5 years in this journey, and she has served at various roles, a club treasurer, club president. She has sponsored a bilingual club. And for us, our very own immediate past president for Area J2, who has made this area proud under her leadership as a president distinguished status. She has not restricted herself to the club level. So please welcome our today's trainer for Chief Judge, DCJ Pravina Bharija. Welcome, Pravina.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Roma. And yes, it always gives me immense pleasure to join all the important events and help our clubs, our area, as well as our district to ensure that whatever we are conducting, we are doing the best. So for this same intention, we have actually tried to cover most of the things that is actually required for a chief judge, because today why we are calling it as workshop, that it's not only going to be a simple training, it's also going to be a practice on how we calculate things, how we should be selecting our team, as well as how important it is that when we stand here and we make sure that we are running a contest, there is no loopholes in that or any of the things that are not being checked upon. So it's our responsibility as a club first, because from club members learn when they see. So I request Zoom Master to please take us to the next slide. Yeah. So first of all, if we talk about the qualities of a chief judge, that says experienced, knowledgeable, organized, decisive, fair, good standing member of a club. So, and of a good standing club. So first of all, we have just gone through the training program. So we all know that what is a good standing when we call a club or a member who is in a good standing. So that is a paid member for that particular term, as well as the club is having minimum of 8 paid members. So that qualifies us to be a chief judge to any of the contest. Next thing that is says that experienced. So this is something like at the club level, we can definitely have people who are doing it for the first time. But then when you are doing it for the first time, then it becomes even more important as well as a big responsibility, because we are helping the club conduct the contest. So we are going to have the judges, because the team of CJ is comprised of timers, Zoom master, then the telecounters, but also the judges who are actually deciding who is going to be the winner of the contest. So it is very important, even if you are doing it for the first time at club level or beyond, please ensure, even if you're not experienced, please refer to the documents that are there in Toastmasters International. The rule book is like something which should never be missed. If you are not reading it, you may miss out on things. And not once. I really request you that if you are taking this challenge, this responsibility, then please ensure that at least you read it twice so that you're not missing out on any of the points. So experience is something that at the club level, definitely you can try, because there only you are going to learn if you are going to experience that. So definitely that, but knowledgeable is something which if you are going to read your rule book thoroughly, definitely you can meet up to this expectation. And yes, organized, decisive, and fair. Fair because we need to actually have a right selection of our judges as well, because that is going to be fair as far as possible to the club members and to the contestants. So we'll understand that in further slides. Yes, next slide, please. Okay. So contest officials, if we talk about, you can refer to this, even we will be sharing this, all the details with you. It's like contest chair, club level, area, division. If we talk about chief judge, then yes, club, area, division, and district. So no CJ or VJ or tie-breaking judge should be from a club of the contest. This is something which is like a protocol that is followed, because if I'm going to be judging my mentor, if suppose my club member is my mentee who has participated, definitely there'll be some element of you can say the kind of inclination, you can say, or you can see, you have seen the efforts that are put in for that particular contestant. So you may have a kind of favorism you may bring in. Still, we respect everyone's integrity, but just to be on safer side, we just try to follow all these protocols. So please make sure that even if somebody approaches you for a contest where you know the contestant is going to be your mentee or someone whom you really have seen or worked with for that particular contest, for that particular speech in particular, please refrain and inform the chief judge that you won't be able to serve as the voting judge. Going to the next, and there are some criteria that for a contest, you need minimum of 5 voting judges. I really request that always keep backup of 2 to 3 people, because it is a practical responsibility or challenge that we normally face, that we fall short of having even 5 numbers. But to have a backup is very, very important, because in that case, if there is not minimum criteria is not met, then your contest is not counted as valid. Yes, Toastmaster Ravindra, you are raising hand. So
yeah, Pravina,
yeah.
my question is this: no TJ, tie-breaking judge, VJ, and CJ should be from the same club as the contestant. Uh, it is applying only to division,
Yes.
area, division, and district,
Yes.
right?
Yes, area and above.
Area and above. Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, so finalizing the medium of communication. This is again like when you form a group, when you have made your team, then it's up to you that how you're going to form that communication means. Yes, nowadays, like we are doing it through WhatsApp, so it becomes very easy to communicate with the entire group. Contest of officers, like containing the chief judge, timer, ballot counters, and contest chair. You can have one group. Then voting judges containing chief judge and all voting judges. Here, I would like to suggest that instead of having a WhatsApp group, you can use the option that is even satisfies the requirement that we have to actually keep the control, or we can say the secrecy of knowing the other judges. So the better option is the broadcast option. Instead of having one common WhatsApp group, you can make a broadcast and you can share all the informations to that. And even if you feel like you need to last day, like you have all the judges online, the contest is in hybrid mode, and you to make it really easy, what you can have is you can form independent groups of voting judges with the ballot counters. So that makes easy for the voting judge also to just post the ballot there itself, so that only the telecounters and the CJ are getting the details. So I really request that try and refrain from creating a common WhatsApp group for all the voting judges. Then for ballot counters, yes, you can have that group, and the tie-breaking judge should be anonymous. So of course, even for that particular group that you're going to make for all the judges, please don't make any group for tie-breaking judge, because that ballot will be submitted directly to you. Moving to the next slide. Yeah. These are few guidelines that are given while preparing for the contest, and before the contest and after the contest. So I'm not going much in detail, but I would really request that the first thing that says reads the speech rule book. So please, before taking or after accepting this role, please make sure that you read the rule book. Even please go through the chief judge form that says that how you qualify for that particular role, because that will have so many questions that will help you understand the minute things that are important. Because sometimes what happens, we read everything, but when we get to understand that, okay, we got 10 wrong answers or 5 wrong answers, at least after that you'll be able to see the right answer, and you'll understand that when you will be really in that situation, what is the right way of handling it. So that is really very important. So please, if you are taking this, take it as a responsibility, read the rule book and understand it. You can even forward your queries if you have, as our PQD has already shared, that if you have any doubt, you can reach out to us, you can ask questions, but please ensure the contest is run with 100% accuracy. Identify the ballot counters and timers. It's like making your team. And then you have to actually help them understand that how this role is played, because it's chief judge's responsibility to train the team, the timers as well as the ballot counters. You have to make them understand how to execute this role. And if they have any doubts, you have to clear it beforehand. Next, if you see about the before the contest, again, you have some checklist. Please ensure that all the things are intact. You have properly planned your backups, as well as for the voting judges and the role players. You are done with the briefings well before time, and the forms are filled, they are signed, and you have to ensure that even they are briefed about all the particulars and the details that they are basically they need to satisfy as a voting judge. And after the contest, yes, this is very, very important, because sometimes what happens, we are so much busy during the contest, we conduct it and we are so happy that it was conducted successfully, but then later on we just forget to put it as the put the report. So that is very important, because every club detail has to go to the PQD's office, because the contestants are going to the next level. So it's very important that you fill up the report well on time, which is 7 days from the date of contest. And also understand, if you don't have the right information about how to fill it, please reach out to us. We will help you understand how this form has to be filled. We will even discuss about the details of the forms, how it has to be filled in the later slides. Yes, next please. So this is the form, that is Judges Certificate of Eligibility and Code of Ethics for club level. Each and every paid member of a club of good standing, as well as the club in good standing, can participate as the voting judge. But still, you need to take this confirmation with their signature well before the contest. And from area and above, there is a restriction that you have to complete your level 2 to serve as a voting judge. So all these things, you will get all these informations from the rule book. Yeah, second. General procedure and tie-breaking judge. Okay, so here, the same rule applies as for regular judge and exceptions as explained below. The tie-breaking judge is appointed by and known only to the chief judge. And that is the reason we say that we will not be forming any WhatsApp group, even with telecounters, because it's going to be shared, the ballot is going to be shared only with chief judge. The tie-breaking judge ranks every contestant on the ballot, not just the first, second, and third place winners. So this is something that you really need to help the tie-breaking judge understand. Also, if you see, sometimes what happens, they may not understand it, even though they have all the numbers like 1 to 10 in their screen. So you have to help them understand that they have to fill up all the number of contestants that are there in this particular contest. This ballot will only be used if there is a tie. This is also very important. Only and only in case of tie, this ballot is going to be used. And it is still very important that you need to have the best voting judge, or you can say experienced Toastmaster serving as tie-breaking judge, because it may or may not require to visit to that ballot. But if in case the situation arises, then the decision is really very important. So it's good to have at least tie-breaking judge. You should try to have an experienced one. Then we have an envelope with the provided to the tie-breaking judge, and the ballot placed therein will hand it over to the chief judge directly. Yes, this is also something which is a good practice when you have physical meetings or the contest is run in a physical mode or in hybrid mode. I've actually also prepared a case study in which we have discussion, because I have seen that there are few confusions for tie-breaking judge and how to break the tie. And this is very, very important, because your telecounters are also dependent on you, because you need to know the right process. So for this, I have a small case study. I would like to request everyone to please take a pen and paper, and I'm going to quickly write first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and eighth. Just make the numbers, because we are assuming in our contest we have 8 members. Why I'm taking 8 and not just an example to have a quick example of 3? Because this is also a very common mistake that is being done by many chief judges, that they just submit the notification form with only 3 names. One, first, second, and third, that is declared. But first, second, third is only declared or announced, but you need to give the complete list of all the contestants who qualified in the contest. For example, if we have 8 contestants, we need to fill up the notification form with all 8 and not just first, second, third. And I would also like to urge this to all the VP education of the clubs who are attending here, all the area directors, all the division directors, to please ensure that the person who is taking this role, the chief judge role, is well equipped with all the details and all the information that goes in for this particular role. Because it then becomes important that right report is also submitted. So if we quickly write first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth positions, now I'm going to speak the sequence in which I have received the ballot count, the ballots of all the voting judges, right? So please quickly, if you can write. I hope you are writing, so I want your thumbs up if you are with me. Okay, Roma, Aarti. Okay, Dilip. Yeah. Okay, fine. So at least 4-5 people are counting with me. Okay, great. So now just write, I will speak in the sequence. So first place winner, contestant number 3. Second place winner, contestant number 6. Third place winner, contestant number 5 and 1. We have a tie at the third position. Contestant number 5 and 1. Now fourth position, contestant number 2. Fifth position, contestant number 8. Sixth position, contestant number 4. Seventh, contestant number 7. Right? So this is the first result that I have received from my voting judges. So first question is, because there is a tie, we are going to visit the tie-breaking judge ballot, right? If in case there is no tie, then the tie-breaking judge's ballot is never referred. Now, if we have a tie-breaking tie situation at position number 3, so it is contestant number 5 and 1. So now if I'm going to the tie-breaking judge's ballot, I'm seeing that the first place position he has ranked is contestant number 5. Like first position is taken by contestant number 5. And contestant number 1 is at the position 8th. So who will give me that, who will be my first, second, and third place winner? And then fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. I'm just sharing the ballot of the contestant that I'm speaking right now, just to avoid the confusion. So at third place winner, we have contestant number 5 and 1. You can raise your hand if you have your answer. As per the tie-breaking judge, contestant number 5 is at first number and contestant number 1 is at 8th position. So what will be my result?
It should be logically fifth one as a first, because nobody else has voted him. I mean, the other way around. The confusion is on the third, right? I mean, I'm not seeing any other judges. Where is the first rating other than one judge giving the third number a first rating.
No,
So
no, no.
other
I'm telling you
Yeah.
that we have received all the judges' ballot, and
Okay.
with me and my telecounter, we have actually did the totaling of that, and now the result that has come up
Okay.
is
Okay.
this in this sequence. Like first place winner is contestant number 3, second is contestant number 6, third is we have a tie, fifth and first. So how we are going to break the tie?
Contestant number 5 will become third.
Contestant number 5 should become third.
Yes.
Correct.
Reason being that he is or she is standing at a higher level as per the tie-breaking judge.
Yes. And what about contestant number 1?
Contest number 1 has gone to 8. Right?
No. This is
Fourth
something
position
that
will be the
we
fourth
need.
number, fourth position.
Yes.
Contestant number one will
Fourth
be the
position.
Yes, contestant number will be on 4th position. We need to understand this, that a complete panel of our voting judges, they have actually given us the sequence. So contestant number 1 is at 3rd position, and now we are just referring to the tie-breaking judge ballot to understand which contestant is leading on that particular in that particular ballot. Right? So if 3rd place winner is contestant number 5, C1 will now move to 4th, and respectively 1 down we will keep all the other contestants. All the other sequence will not be disturbed. Right? 1 and first place winner is contestant number 3, which is given by our voting judges. So that place will also not get disturbed, even though your contestant number 5 is at 1st position in the tie-breaking judge. Still, first place winner given by voting judges will be there as it is. Second, as it is. Now, tie is at 3rd position. So you have to break the tie. You have to make the 3rd place winner as contestant number 5. C will come to 4. Then respectively, 2 will become 5. 8 will become 6. 4 will become 7. And then 7 will become 8. Any confusion on this point? Anyone, because this is very, very important. Okay, so I hope this point is clear to everyone. Now we will take the case number 2. Okay, one thing, we have finalized this, but we also need to check second thing, like after preparing our result, we will first see the timer's report. So if you have seen that contestant number 1, even though contestant number 1 was at 3rd position, now timer report says that contestant number 1 is disqualified. So there is no point in going and referring to the tie-breaking judge. Here itself you have your answer. All others are already sorted. Just contestant number 1, because he or she is timed out as per the timer's report, then you will not refer to the tie-breaking judge ballot. Clear? So these two things we need to rule out once we have the final results with us. First thing, see the timer report. If that says all are qualified, then if we have tie, then we will go and refer to the tie-breaking judge's ballot. Now, second case says that, yes, similarly, second says that first place winner is contestant number 3. Second place is contestant number 6. Third is contestant number 5. Fourth is contestant number 2 and 4. So here we have a tie at 4th position. Then 5th position, we have contestant number 8. 6th position, contestant number 7. And at 7th position, we have contestant number 1. Now in this situation, there is no timeout. All the contestants are qualified. So now, what are we going to do? We have two options. One is we have our first, second, third place winner. So we can directly fill up the form and we can submit. Are we going to do that, or we will still break the tie?
Sorry, Pravina, could you repeat the from beginning, because I did not get
I
the.
think
Okay.
we have
I'll
to
repeat.
break the tie.
Yes, you have to break the tie. Now, you have to break the tie, because even if you are not like the first, second, third place winners are clear that you are going to announce. But the time when you're going to fill up the winners notification form, there you need to give the right sequence of all the contestants. So what you have to do is, before declaring first, second, third also, you have to first break the tie, complete that list in front of your telecounters, and fix the sequence of the winners. Right? Now we will go to the judges ballot. Now fourth position is taken by contestant number 2. And so on tie-breaking judges, C2 is at third position and C4 is at sixth position. So whoever is leading in tie-breaking judge will take that position, and the other one will go one down. Clear? Okay, great. So this is very, very important. Even if you have some doubt, you want to have some practice on this, please do it when you are doing the telecounters briefing. Just have 1 or 2 such use cases, and then just try and discuss with them so that you are very much clear during the process. Like when finally you have all the ballots and you have to finalize that. Yes, now we can move to the next page. Yeah, Vishal, we can go to the next page. Yeah, Vishal, are you with me? Okay, I think he's not able to move the slide. Okay, fine. Thank you so much. So briefing to the timer. Now again, this briefing has to be done by the chief judge. And that says, operate the timer cards device at the venue. Also note the time. This is the basic thing that they need to do for the contest. Be seated ahead so that the changing of cards is clearly visible to the contestant. Even if there is a proper placement that is adjusted so that the timer cards are not exactly visible to everyone in the audience, because this is something like when we visualize and we see the in-person meetings and the hybrid system, it should not be like the contestant who is speaking from the floor is not able to see the timer. So this is something, the main idea behind this is the timer cards should be visible to the contestants so that they are able to see that. They must be at least in front of the contestant. Then is timer 2, the time usage of each online and offline contestants. Maintain and deliver the chief judge the written record of elapsed time of each speech on the speech contestant. Yes. So he or she has to write each and every time with seconds on the sheet and has to submit it to the chief judge. Another suggestion that I would like to give you here is try to have online timers for online contestants and offline timers for offline contestants, so that there is no other challenge that contestants are facing, because they need to have that comfort to ensure that they are keeping track of the time, which is very, very important, because time will decide whether they are going to qualify or not in the contest. So when that 1 second is important, so please ensure that cards are clearly visible. If you have a hybrid setup, please try to have 4 timers if possible, so that the timers are like showing the cards to the respective contestants. Timer 3 is like operate the signaling device in Zoom through laptop. Display the green, yellow, red cards by changing the virtual background. Again, like this, as we discussed, that timer 1 and timer 2, we need to have, because the judges, the CJ is going to take the note of or count the sheet of timer 2. But then we can have even 4 timers so that they can have a track of both in-person as well as virtual as well as in-person contestants. Okay, we can move to the next. Yeah, speech contestant time record sheet. This is the record sheet that we have to share as a CJ. We have to share it with our timers so that they're noting down each and every contestants and exact timings. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. Yeah. Briefing the telecounter. Yes, again, as we discussed that we have to brief all the telecounters, the details about the how we are going to calculate the judges' ballots, how the timer, because timer sheet is going to be shared only with CJ. So you just have to brief them that finally after doing a total of the ballots that we have received, how we are going to handle it. Right? Even you have to inform them that when they are receiving a ballot, even if it is a situation of a protest, that will be known to the telecounters first, because judges are going to write on the ballots. So all these details and small things has to be told to the telecounters so that they are keeping the protocol intact, that how we are going to handle such type of situations. So it's very, very important that you brief the telecounters properly. Yeah, we can move to the next one. Okay, so this is the telecounter sheet. So we have to write the name of the judges on the left side, left-hand side, and all the contestants on the columns. So here we have A, B, C as contestant, and you can write the complete name of the contestants for all the, like as we had 8. So you have to write all the 8 there. Then very carefully, we have to write in that cell. Like if we see that rows and columns. So judge number 1 has given number 1 position to contestant number A. So we are going to put a number of 3. Then second place winner is B. So he is getting 2 points for judge number 1. And for judge number 1, contestant number 3 is at 3rd position. So he will get a point as 1. So first place winner, 3 points. Second place winner, 2 points. And third place winner, 1 point. Please be very careful. Sometimes by mistake or in hurry, you can take your own time. Just don't be afraid that we have very little amount of time in which we have to finalize it. The time until and unless you are not going to confirm them that you are done with the calculation, even if you feel that I need 5 more minutes to do it peacefully, please take that time, because it is very important. It should not happen that in hurry, we just put first place winner, we put 1 point. So it will actually going to disturb the whole ballot. And why the telecounters are also doing it together, or everyone, because please ensure the same number that total is coming matches in all the telecounter sheet as well as the CJ. So what I practice and I recommend also is please make your own sheet as well. Tally it with your telecounters. Make sure that each and every total of every contestant is coming same in all the 3 or 4 sheets. In that case, we can ensure that there is no mistake. One person can make such mistake, but not 3 or 4 people doing it together. So please don't be in hurry. Take your time, take 5 minutes extra, not a problem, but do it 100% accurately. Okay, so now we can move, because we have already discussed how, if we are having the numbers, how we are going to handle it. We have already covered. Now, in case of technical failure, again, as system says that if due to unavoidable situation, if contestant has a broken network or a black screen, like he is not able to perform if he is joined from online. So in that case, if we talk about contestants, they are themselves responsible for a strong network. So if in case it happens and multiple times it's happening, CJ has the right to take the decision that you're going to wait for the contestant or you are going to move ahead with the contest. Because it is an international speech contest, so even if there is a genuine reason, then chief judge can take a call that the contestant, if right now not able to deliver, can be allowed to deliver after some time, like or come at the end. That is purely depend on the situation, and CJ can take a call. Otherwise, in no evaluation speech contest or table topic contest, the sequence is ever changed. Now, if we talk about evaluation speech contest rules, I think, okay, if fine, we'll discuss everything, because even we had seen this contest, and area is going to have that area, division and district. We are going to conduct all the type of contests. So let us see this as well. The test speech must be a contest type speech or a project speech from the Toastmasters Pathway Learning Experience. So when you are searching for a speaker for evaluation contest, please ensure the the selection is done well, even though it is done by the contest chair, but at least you need to brief the contest chair when he or she is going to select for that. So CJ is not selecting the test speaker. It is also something that we generally missed, or we have seen that people have this type of confusion. But the contest chair is actually conducting the contest. So the test speaker is also selected by contest chair and known to the contest chair only. Okay. So additionally, if we talk about the rules, so contest officials must not have served in more than one role of the same contest at the area. Again, these points are very, very important. I request everyone, and I also request all the VP education. If you are planning to conduct the contest in your club, please try to keep at least 5 to 10 minutes slot in your meeting and discuss all these details with all your members, because it will become very difficult if I'm going to read out each and every line of the presentation. But our program quality director Sunita has really ensured that everything is here on the screen, so that we are not missing out on any of the points that is very important while performing this role. So Sunita, I hope we are going to share this with all the VP educations so that they can, have it as a quick reference.
Yeah, they'll get to read it off the website because I don't want this to be misused or misinterpreted, or
Okay,
them
great.
to start taking training.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so yes, and then yes, of course, you can go to the website. You have all these details. So please ensure that you read out and you don't miss out on any of the protocols and the practices. Now, handling protest. This is also very important, that chief judge should know the right process. In the event of protest, chief judge have to communicate with the voting judges to move into the counting room. The associated contestant should then be called into the room to discuss the same further. Keep in touch with the contest chair and master of ceremony to extend contest interviews until final decision has been reached. Okay, so this is something that has to be kept very secret. You don't have to declare anyone, but you just have to tell the contest chair that we need some more time to finalize the results. So protest is something which is, kept very secret, and we respect everyone, because if at all it is not right, then we should be keeping the respect of the contestant as well. So this is kept very secret. And then it is handled, and the main room where the contest is being conducted, that has to be the audience engagement or the interviews or anything, like the master of ceremony can engage the audience and by the time. Then evidence must be submitted for the review regarding the disqualification on the basis of originality and or reference another contestant's speech. So this is something that the person who has raised the protest need to give the proof as well. And upon seeing that proof, then there will be a voting. Contestant must be given an opportunity to respond to the voting judges. Like he has to put his own, part there. If he is able to explain that it was an original content, upon that the decision is, finalized. So the contestant will be allowed to give will get the opportunity to explain, as well as the proof is going to be verified. A majority of judges must agree to disqualify the contestant. After a final decision has been reached, the voting judges return to the contest room. And during the briefing as well, and after you are done with the decision, you have to request all the judges to please keep it as a secret, because any time after this contest, also during the contest, we should never disrespect the contest or any of the contestants. So this is something that should never be discussed. The contest chair can disqualify a contestant on the basis of eligibility, right? You need to mention that what is the reason of disqualification. Now, handling protests are limited to eligibility, originality, and reference to another contestant, or a speech presented by another contest during their speech at the same contest in which they are competing. So these are few things that you need to be very careful, so that if in case there is a protest that does not satisfy all these criteria, then you need not to have that. You can directly inform whoever has protested that this is not the ground of protest. Any protest must be lodged with the chief judge one-on-one and or contest chair prior to the announcement of the winners. Yes, this is also very important. Once the winners are declared, that is final, and then it will not be like you cannot protest after the winners are announced in the contest. Okay, so this is the contest reporting methodology. The information needed in the notification of contest winner as per the format will have to be submitted by chief judge via a link which will be shared by PQD office as per the guidelines of submission. So this is the link which you will get, but you have to please ensure that, as we discussed, we need to put all the winners' name, because even if the contestant is at number 6, but still he or she is a winner. If we have a situation where our first place winner is not able to go to the next level, then the second place winner will move to the next. If second is not available, then the club will reach out to third. If not third, fourth. If not fourth, fifth. So if you have actually gained the position in the ballot, in the winners list, then you can participate and you can represent your club or area at the next level, but only if your name is there in the notification form. So CJ, please, I request, whenever you're filling up the form, ensure that you're writing each and every contestant's name as per this right sequence in the notification form. Not only first, second, third position is important, each and every position in right sequence is important. Yes. So this is the winner's notification form. You need to fill it up. You can see you have only up to 10. Now imagine a club has conducted a contest and they have around 15-20 contestants, 15 contestants. Ideally, if they have such a big number, they should be doing a mock contest first and try to bring it to at least 10, so that even judges are not having that tough time, because if they have to judge 15 or 10 plus contestants in one contest, it becomes really very difficult. So in this situation, if you get to know that the club is having more than 10 contestants, please try and suggest, if possible, conduct a mock contest first at your internally, and then have top 10 contestants to compete in the contest. Now, if you have more than 10, if there is a situation you cannot have 2 contests, you cannot have mock contests, you don't have role players, in such situation, you can definitely have a combined contest with all 15, but make sure in that situation, you're going to fill 2 forms for your winner's notification form. If there is no time disqualification, then you will have all 15 contestants and you will write the right sequence. Contestant like first, second, third position, 10th, and then on second page, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Please don't miss out any of the contestant name. If there is no disqualification due to time criteria or eligibility, right? And all other details also need to be filled out. Okay, so here is the speech rule book updates. Now again, eligibility of a contestant. It says that to be eligible to compete in any official Toastmasters speech contest, a member must be a paid member and in the area, division, and district in which they are competing. The club, like that, says that if I belong to area J2, at next, I cannot participate in area J4 contest. Like I have to be from the same area, same division and district. The club must also be in good standing. Like we at least have the 8 paid members of that club on the date of contest. This is also very important. A new dual or reinstated member must have dues and membership application current with world headquarters. Same thing, like if the contest is conducted on 31st January, I should be a paid member with Toastmaster International on 31st January. Maintain eligibility at all levels of any contest. If at any level it is determined that a contestant was ineligible to compete at any previous level, the contestant must be disqualified. right? If now at area level or division level, the contestant is there, but if he is not satisfying any of the criteria, which was actually, discovered during this level, still he is disqualified. So this disqualification must occur even if the ineligibility is discovered at a later level and has been corrected. And has been corrected. So even if he has already participated in the other contest, that is fine. But right now, if it is discovered, it will not be considered. Now, eligibility of a contestant. In addition to being eligible to compete in the international speech contest, a member must have earned certificates of completion in level 1 and 2 of any path in Toastmasters Pathway Learning Experience, or earned a Distinguished Toastmasters Award. Now, this is something, sometimes what happens, like a contestant has completed 2 or 3 levels, but if the contestant has not submitted the level in dashboard, in TI's website, then again the contestant is not counted as eligible. So you need to check whether the contestant is actually qualified according to the dashboard. Sometimes members miss out to punch the all the details in the pathway and get the certificate punched there. So you have to ensure, and this is also again the responsibility of BP Education, that if you know that the contestants are participating and you know that they have completed the levels, so you have to ensure that they are submitting their certificates well on time. Okay, now here there is an exception. Yes. So, however, a charter member of a club chartered less than 1 year before the club contest is permitted to compete without having completed this requirement. The club must have officially chartered before the area contest. So this is for all the clubs that got chartered last year, because now they are eligible, but only the charter members. Now, again, there is a small thing that we need to take care of. The club is a chartered club in less than 1 year. But if suppose a member has joined after second or third meeting, then that member is from a chartered club, but he is not a charter member. So both the criteria need to be satisfied. The member should be a chartered member of a chartered club. Okay, so this is very important. The following are ineligible to compete in any Toastmaster speech contest. There is a list that includes the district officers, so that you can go and read in detail. Yes, we can move to the next slide. Yeah, so this is a long list who are not eligible. Basically, you need to read out all the criteria here. We can move to the next page. Okay, eligibility of a judge. Be a paid member of a club in good standing. At area, division, and district level, a judge must be a DTM or level 1 and 2 in any path. As we discussed, that for clubs, there is no criteria. But area and above, the the voting judge or the tie-breaking judge has to be should have completed level 1 and 2 of any pathway. A member cannot serve as voting judge or tie-breaking judge beyond club level for a contest type in which he or she is competing or intends to compete. This is also very important. A presenter of an education session, contest chairs, chief judges, event committee chairs cannot compete at the event at which the contest will be held. Okay. And this is something that you really need to take care, because when you have a same event, and the logic behind is, if you are actually taking some lead in particular contest, then you can have an advantage over other contestants. So please refrain to participate in any of such roles if you are participating as a contestant, or as a voting judge as well. Okay, so I think we are done with the presentation. Okay.
Thank you so much, Pravina, for the insight. Now, we can take 1 or 2 questions
Yeah,
before
we are
proceeding.
still.
Just for information, since we know there are a lot of queries and doubts definitely will be there. but the form has been circulated. It is an attendance form, but PQD has, especially for this session, has put up that you can put your doubts or query. There is an option in that. So that will go to the trainer and they can support you offline onto the queries. So just I'm taking one question because it has came during the protest, and since it's a handling protest is an important part for the CJ. The question is, after the contest, a contestant protest that he has kept his own time, and as per that, timer didn't show card at a given time, and that restricted him and may have disqualified because of, I mean, he got disqualified because of that reason. So what should CJ do?
Okay. First of all, like when we have the contest officials, we have timer 1 and timer 2, right? So as rule says that we have to refer to the timer 2's ballot, or sorry, the timer 2's report. But again, we have two people who are actually the contest officials. We may have the way of telling to our friends to time it, or we have ourselves timed it, but we have to respect the contest officials, and the CJ will follow what the timer report says and not what they have actually checked. Yes, and this is also not a reason to protest, because there is a special mentioned grounds on which they can protest, and that says the eligibility, as well as it says the eligibility basically. So in that case, first of all, to be very clear, this is not a ground to protest. Yes, it can be discussed as a concern, or as a, you can say, yes, they can have that concern and they can discuss that with CJ, but definitely not, because that doesn't stand any ground of protest.
Got it. So it doesn't stand, first major thing, it doesn't stand a chance for protest. And another thing is timer is official, and that timing is will also be will only be considered. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Pravina, for such an insight. Yes, you want to say
One more
something?
point.
Yeah, please.
There's a small point that I would like to share here, that sometimes what happens is CJ goes to some other club and performs this role. Now, not everything is, other than the contest part, is taken care of. But there is something which is also very important, that if the VP education is participating, you need to ensure that VP education is not involved in all such things. Even president or anyone from ExCom, if they are also participating, let them enjoy the contest as a contestant. Don't involve them in any of such decisions, or as a front player also. Like, there is one thing which I have many times I have seen, that there is a contestant who is the president of the club, and once the meeting is started, the contest starts, presiding officer comes up and starts the contest. So this is also something that the best practice and the protocol says, that the contestant should not be speaking before his or her own speaking sequence, when the time. So it's very important that please, presidents or the presiding officers basically, please ensure that there is someone else who is starting the contest as a presiding officer. He or she can be any senior member of the club, or anyone from your team. But please ensure that if a contestant is there, then he or she should not come in as a presiding officer. This is something which I have seen many times, so I just thought of sharing it.
Thank you so much for that insight, and especially your own experience. And for me also, there were so many takeaways which I have noted down for myself, which I'll definitely take a note of it when I'm going there to any other club or area for the CJ. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pravina. Now we have our next trainer. She is again a veteran Toastmaster, a teacher by profession. She is a Toastmaster since 2015 and had various offices role, be it a secretary, vice president education, vice president membership, president, area director, and she has also been obviously so many times voting judge. as well as chief judges. So here we have currently serving as District 98 parliamentarian and IPP of her club, DTM Ranjini Rao. Welcome, Ranjini.
Thank you, Roma, for that wonderful introduction. District leaders, fellow Toastmasters, guests, a very good evening to you all. And thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Praveena, for that insightful session on Chief Judge. Now, the Chief Judge is an architect of any contest. And definitely, he requires the help of a team to perform a contest successfully. So here comes the role of voting judges. Now, before I plunge into the details of this session, I would just like to ask quickly, how many of you are from newly chartered clubs? Can I have a raise of hand, please? So that I can base my session based on that. Okay, I can see a few hands going up. Okay, how many of you are from exclusively online clubs? Okay, and how many of you haven't been a voting judge at all? Okay, thank you, dear members, for that. Now, I would like to briefly set the context for this, for the benefit of new clubs which has just been chartered. Now, why is Toastmasters speech contest conducted? Toastmasters International Speech Contest are an important part of the Toastmaster education program. And they provide an opportunity for members to gain speaking experience, as well as an opportunity for other Toastmasters to learn by observing proficient speakers. Now, these contests are conducted as per contest rule book, and the modifications take place every year and by the administrative protocol review process. There are various types of contests. As you all know that in the last term, we had the speech evaluation contest. We have humorous speech contest, which starts with the club, proceeds to the area, then to the division, and culminates at the district. The international speech contest is the only contest which proceeds to the region quarterfinal, semi-finals, and of course, the World Public Speaking Championship. So since this season, we are going to concentrate on international speech contest. So we will talk more about that in particular. So the international speech contest proceeds and culminates, as I already told you, at the World Public Speaking Championship. Now, since the international speech contest is going to start in all the clubs, many of the new members might be hearing acronyms like CJ, VJ, TBJ, etc. Now, that might actually sometimes intimidate new members, right? So as Toastmasters who have been in this organization for quite some time, let us start, first of all, using the full forms so that we encourage even the new member to learn the right way. Now, today's session will cover all aspects about voting judges, and you are free to interrupt me, chip in whenever possible, so that together we can make the session interactive and also equip ourselves with enough knowledge so that we conduct the international speech contest successfully at various levels. So Roma, can we, yeah. So thank you for that. So basically the judge, can you just go back to the previous slide? Yeah, thank you. What is the job of a voting judge? Basically, to help members judge better, this session is all about. Can we move on? And this session will help you. Yeah. So in this session, we will come to understand what do you do as a voting judge? What is your roles and responsibilities? Is it the same as evaluating? And how can you be a good judge? There are some do's and don'ts of that we'll get to know. And what gets in the way of judging? There are sometimes some barriers which gets in the way of good judging. So let us try to understand so that we pick the correct winner. Now, when you are a voting judge, what is your role? Your role is just to pick a winner. Can any one of you tell me? I would prefer some new members of a new club. As an evaluator at your club, what is your role? What do you do as an evaluator at your club level? Can I have some answer?
Yeah, hi. So am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
state your name and club.
yeah, hi.
Yeah.
So my name is Pranav Malik. I'm from KTM, Kolkata Toastmasters Club.
Okay.
So as a speech evaluator, so at first, so my motive is to first to give 3 points of recommendation to the person, that which point means 3 points of recommendation to that person, which he or she has done great, and last 2 points of recommendation on which the thing might be stage movement or might be the voice modulation might be lagging. So for my case, I would first let the person know in which sections he or she has done great and which sections can be done better. Yeah. And to
Very
leave the
good.
speaker on a high note. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That was well said, Swarnava from Kolkata. Welcome here. So we follow basically as an evaluator CRC method, where we follow comment, recommend, and comment, and of course summarize and leave, as he rightly said, the speaker with lot of motivation and positivity. But as a voting judge, do we do the same thing? No. Our role is not to give evaluation, not to give recommendations, not to summarize, but to pick the winner who could represent at the next level in various contests. Can we move on? Now, one common thing between an evaluator at the club and the voting judge. What is that one common thing which an evaluator at the club level as well as a voting judge should possess? Anyone?
Free of bias.
Okay.
Who has given a good, better speech?
Okay, so that means you need to be an attentive listener, right? So apart this, you need to be an attentive listener, even though you're an evaluator at the club or a voting judge, for you to, judge them on certain parameters. So when you are the judge, do not evaluate. Like what you do in the club, you don't have to recommend, you don't have to offer any commendations, you don't have to summarize, you don't have to appraise the speech, you don't have to give them praise or expert judgment on the speeches delivered as a contestant, and do not measure presentation against purpose. Now, every speech has a purpose. Anyone wants to try? What are the different purposes for which we deliver a speech?
Inspiration.
Very good.
Information,
Yes.
persuading,
Yes.
taking
And it can
over.
be, yeah, it could be humorous also, right? But our job as a voting judge is not to measure these parameters, and there should be a purpose, whether the speaker leaves you with some meaningful thought as a contestant. And do not offer recommendations, as already discussed. That is the job you do as an evaluator at the club level, but never as a voting judge. Can we move on to the next slide, please? So what are the qualities of a good judge? He should be fair and impartial. I can't say, okay, my friend is contesting from that club, and I've got this golden opportunity to be a voting judge at the area level, so let me give my friend the first position. No. My cousin brother is there, cousin sister is there in another club, so let me be little biased. No. A fair and impartial will not consider a contestant's affiliation to the club, area, division, or district. Sometimes we tend to have a kind of affiliation. Oh, the that area, that is, that area is doing extremely well and all the contestants are really good, so I need to give them extra brownie points. No. Set aside race, caste, gender, religion, or profession. All these things, irrespective, should never be considered. And as a voting judge, our duty is to ensure that we listen attentively and mark the contestant on certain parameters as defined by the Toastmasters International, is knowledgeable. As our chief judge, the district chief judge has already shared in the previous session, the rule book, when we learn the rule book, when we learn the ballots on what parameters, we understand better, and that helps us to judge better. Knows the rules of the contest, studies the rule book, makes, of course, the rule book is a Bible of Toastmasters contest. So A to Z, all things, whatever we are required, whenever we have a query, we can always refer to the rule book, and because rule book is the Bible of a speech contest. Makes no exceptions while judging. Of course, there is no bias. We should not make any exceptions. And is a good listener, does not, of course, now this is a online meeting, so we tend to check our phones periodically. We tend to have breakfast. We tend to have lunch during the particular session because we don't get time. But all that should be avoided if you're going to take a voting judge role. Because as a voting judge, it is imperative that you listen to each contestant attentively. Is a good listener, does not check his or her phone, fills up the ballots correctly. Now, as the chief judge training, distinguished Toastmaster Praveena told us how the ballot should be filled correctly and why it is important. The order of the winners is very important, and we cannot at any cost try to mix up the order because it is a loss for the contestant. Refrain from revealing scores or ranking. So this is very confidential, secret ballot. So this should not be revealed to anybody post the contest or during the contest, whatever it is, we should refrain from what we have scored. Can we move on? Yeah, the previous slide, once again, any queries from this, a good judge, whatever we have discussed, or any more point you want in detail to be discussed, or is it okay? Roma, you can just help me in case if anybody is raising hand because I'm not able to. Yeah, let's move on. So what are some of the barriers to objectivity? At times we tend to be biased, but all these things should not come in place when we judge a contest. Speaker position, that is, as far as you're able to hear the speaker loud and clear, the speaker position should not be too much of a concern. At times during online meetings, the speaker tends to go out of frame, for a short period of time, but that should not be a barrier to your judging. Champion of the underdog. At times, we think that maybe by physical appearance or maybe by their accent, we feel that probably this contestant has a very little chance of winning, and we do not pay attention or just mark them on certain, preconceived notions. That should be avoided. The halo effect. Sometimes we think, oh, this contestant, I met him at the club and he won the best speaker, ribbon. So obviously he is going to ace it today. So that kind of a preconceived notion should be avoided, or the reverse halo effect. Last time this contestant stumbles, I think, this time this time too, he shall not be good. So all these kind of, biases should be avoided because these are barriers to objectivity. Second time around, you want to give somebody a second chance because last time they did exceedingly well. Giving someone a break or chance. At times you find that some of the contestants, they keep contesting for the third time, fourth time, and you happen to be a voting judge at all times. Probably want to give them a break. Not the norm, which is something exceptional, not done usually. So you want to give them a chance. So all these kinds of barriers should be avoided because you as a voting judge should pay attention to the speech on that particular day and mark the contestant on certain parameters. Any queries or anybody wants to chip in any kind of experiences for the benefit of others, you may stop me, interrupt. So making the session interactive can also, this, I know it's a working day, it's quite late, and this will help us all to keep awake if you're interactive. Okay, we'll move on. Before the contest, what are you supposed to do? First of all, whenever a chief judge approaches you to be the voting judge, ask yourself, have I renewed? Because now this is a renewal period. Many times what happens, sometimes people who have just been in the Toastmaster for 6 months and they have not renewed, they are not aware that they are not qualified as a voting judge. In my own experience, it happened that a person had taken up a contest chair role in the previous contest, and I assumed that the person is still continuing with the Toastmaster, but after 15 days, the contestant had Toastmaster had not renewed. But luckily, I found that out on time. So ask yourself the question, have you renewed at your club? Next, the chief judge will send you an eligibility code of ethics form. Please sign it duly, filling all the particulars and details, and sign that you are eligible to become a voting judge. Now, in case if you have attended the district training organized by the district, the chief judge and the voting judge training, you will be eligible to vote in a contest. Attend judges briefing. The chief judge sometimes convenes for a judges briefing. So please do attend it. And the chief judge also ensures that most of the voting judges attend the session. In case if 1 or 2 are not able to attend, I'm sure the chief judge will connect them on one-on-one and brief them about it. Read the contest rule book, as even distinguished Toastmaster Praveena insisted. I also reiterate that contest speech rule book is the Bible of a Toastmasters contest. Next, identify the assigned ballot. Now, before you go for a contest the previous day or a couple of days before, which contest are you going to judge? Is it a humorous speech? Is it an international speech contest? It is a table topics. Check the ballot. The chief judge must have sent you that. Check the ballot. What are the parameters? Understand it. If you have any queries, you can connect with anyone and get it clarified. So please ensure that you, not only the contestant, but you as a voting judge should also go prepared for a contest. Now, suppose if it is an online club contest, then please log in well in advance. Rename yourself. The chief judge will give you certain, number, VJ1, VJ2, VJ3. Please follow that. And if you are judging in an offline contest, please ensure that you reach the venue well in advance and report to the CJ that you have arrived at the venue. Sometimes, especially in a place like Mumbai where traffic is a hurdle, and sometimes we do not know the place. So it is always better to connect with people, get the proper location, and reach the venue on time. Next, for the online, club contest, ensure that the audio, video is turned off at all times. As a voting judge, you need to be anonymous. It is secret. And remove the profile picture in case if you have any. And also ensure while, joining the meeting itself, you rename yourself. I cannot, join the meeting by with the name Ranjini Rao and then change my name to VJ1, VJ2, etc. Please ensure all these things are done before you join the meeting. And if it is an offline club contest, please ensure that you sit in this. Where should you sit if you're a voting judge in an offline contest? Anyone? Which is the ideal position for a voting judge to sit in an offline club contest? Anyone?
Amongst the public.
Can you repeat, please? Sarah,
along with the audience.
where? Which position exactly?
Somewhere in the middle where you can observe the participant properly.
Yes. Thank you, Saral. You're right. Do not go to the last row and sit there, because at times the mic doesn't work, or the speaker, the contestant does not have a loud voice, just like how I have, probably very soft. So you will not be able to hear. So ideal place would be second or third row, where you're able to see the contestant, hear the contestant, so that your judging on the ballot becomes, 100%, whatever is expected. Can we, during the one second. Yeah, assign, understand the part is, yes. Now, this is an important thing. As a voting judge, before the contest, you are supposed to know what is a protest. Now, protests usually are seen mostly at international speech contests. Can anyone tell me on what basis can a protest be lodged? I don't want experienced members to answer. Maybe. Yeah.
Regarding the eligibility of a particular contestant, is
Okay.
that right? So protest can be
Okay.
raised whether he's a member with good standing on that
Okay.
context. Can that be raised?
Okay.
If
Now,
the
eligibility of a member who can, protest, only the contest chair can protest in case of the eligibility of the, member at certain levels is not found, right? Apart from that, is there any other criteria for protest? Eligibility is one, right? Yavana, thank you. What is the other criteria for protest?
disqualification in an unjust, unfair manner of the contestant.
Okay. For international speech contest, is there any other protest? I'll give one last chance for someone. No? Anyone wants to give it a try?
The originality of
Yes. Thank you, Saral.
at least
Yes.
25% of it is okay, more or less same,
Yes.
but 25% of it should be your original matter.
Yes, thank you very much. So protest usually happens at international speech contest more rather than in any other contest, because here the content should be 25% or less of the speech. Okay, you can take a part of, paraphrasing, quotation, referencing another person's quotation, whatever it is, but you should name. Suppose if I'm using a quote on Mahatma Gandhi, I need to say Mahatma Gandhi quote. If I don't use that, then probably that is a cause of protest. Or sometimes if I outsource a content which is 25% more than the word count, that also is a cause for protest. And also, contestants should not reference another contestant or a speech presented by another contestant from the platform at the same contest. For example, if I'm a contestant and Saral is also a contestant in the same international speech contest, I was there while Saral delivered his speech. And next is my turn. I cannot come and say, I like the way Saral started with this, and I like the way that Saral quoted this. So that also, if I take a portion of what he has delivered, or it is better to avoid anything about any contestant or take any material, because that is also a cause for protest. Protests are limited to only eligibility, originality, and reference to another contestant. So at all times, let us avoid that. As a voting judge, you can also protest if a contestant has taken outsourced more than 25% of the material. But if you raise a protest, that is it? Or is the voting judge, suppose if they raise a protest, is there anything else that they have to do? suppose I have found that somebody has found, okay, Ranjini has outsourced, more than 25% of the content in my speech. Somebody, you as a voting judge, you have raised a protest to the chief judge. So the work of the chief voting judge is over after raising the protest, or what else should be done?
All the
Anyone?
voting judges along with the chief judge, they meet in a room
Yeah.
and they verify whatever the protest, whether it's correct
Yes.
and
Yes. Suppose if Kusuma has raised a protest for my speech telling Ranjini has, outsourced more than 25% of the content, then she should have proper, proof for that. Okay. A person who is raising the protest should have a proper proof. Maybe she has heard that video, speech somewhere else, somebody else, and she should have it as a proof to show it to the chief judge. Otherwise, without proof, nothing is accepted, right? So we need to, I just can't go and say, oh, I think I heard the speech 2 years ago. I definitely heard, but I don't remember who spoke it. I don't have the video. So unless you have a proof, the protest cannot be validated by the chief judge.
Hello,
Contest,
actually, I
yeah,
have to actually ask something. As you were
yeah.
saying about the percentage 25%, so how to measure it? Is it 25% or something like that? That the part of speech is more than 25% or less
Yeah.
than 25%. I'm asking how to measure it. Actually, I don't
See,
know.
it is actually like, when we deliver a speech, we approximately count that for a minute we speak about 90 to 100 words. Now, here again, if I'm going to talk about, somebody else's experience, okay, for maybe 2 paragraphs.
Okay.
Okay, somebody else's, things which is done, then I can roughly make out, okay, 3/4 of the time that he has spoken, it was not his personal experience. Probably he has quoted somebody, he has spoken, about somebody's speech or whatever it is an approximate gauging. Therein lies your prudence as a voting judge.
Okay.
See, I cannot, as a voting judge, keep counting every word, right? But I should be having that kind of prudence to gauge what percentage. Okay, that means for 3 minutes now, that person has spoken nothing about his personal experience. He is just quoting from that source. He's telling that, from Times of India, I've taken this from, this happened there. So you can have a rough idea in your mind. So that is how it works, and it will come with practice. So roughly, like, I cannot kind of pinpoint these many words, but you yourself as a voting judge, you will have some idea. Okay, for the first 2 minutes, the speaker has just spoken about somebody's, referencing somebody, taken quotation from somebody's, quotes, whatever it is. So you will have a fair idea as the speech is proceeding. Does that answer?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, contestant must be given opportunity, as Kusuma rightly said. Now, all the voting judge will convey to the chief judge that I protest, and then all the chief judge will convene a meeting with the voting judges. If it is an online contest, it will be in the breakout room. If it is an offline contest, a special room will be there, and the voting judges can discuss, and then the contestant should be called in, and the contestant should be given an opportunity to explain. And then the voting judges will take a final call, and the voting judge's decision is final at all times. Okay. And the contest chair can disqualify a contestant on the basis of eligibility, right? So that is it during a contest. And after the contest, protest. Any doubt with the protest? Because that is also very, very important. And one more point I would like to add in protest is chief judge, contest chair, voting judge, or a contestant can lodge a protest, either with the chief judge or a contest chair. Suppose Kusuma has heard some speech, okay, Dhananjay's speech, okay, and then she comes to my club as a voting judge and hears my speech where I have taken a major chunk of Dhananjaya's speech and tried to incorporate that in my speech, and she can lodge a protest with the chief judge, right? So, and a contestant, if both of us are, if myself and maybe Akshay are contestants in the same, contest, then probably if he finds that, I have plagiarized or, taken a major chunk from somebody else's speech, then if he has enough proof, then he also can lodge a protest with the chief judge. So protest is another important thing which every voting judge has to go through before attending any contest. Any clarifications in this? And of course, a protest should be tally counter authority when the contest chair announces the winners incorrectly. Okay, this I'm talking about in terms of contestants, eligibility, and speech content while delivering. Okay, and a protest can be not a protest, that will be, he can intervene and the contest chair.
Yavna, you have a question? Yavna
Can
Raja.
other roles like timer or target times raise?
While, yes, timer and the ballot counters while the winners are being announced. While the winners are being announced, suppose the timer knows one person has disqualified on the basis of time. They have overstepped the time, but he has been given the first place, second place, or third place, in which case the timer can tell the contest chair and make the corrections and then re-announce the result. Ideally, that should not happen because the chief judge has to be extra careful as checking it 3 times, 4 times to ensure that it is not done. But now, while announcing the result, the ballot and as well as the timer can stop, intervene, and make the corrections. But this protest, I'm talking in terms of speech content and eligibility. After the speech, the contest chair can disqualify on the basis of eligibility. A contestant can protest with the chief judge or a contest chair on the basis of originality. The voting judge can lodge a protest with the chief judge on the basis of originality, but a timer cannot lodge a protest with the chief judge, or a ballot cannot lodge a protest with the chief judge for originality and eligibility. Does it answer? Any doubt?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, then during...
Lokesh has raised the hand. Ranjit.
Who?
Lokesh.
Yeah, Lokesh.
Yeah, I just have a question about this protest. So
Hmm.
let's say that if the timer hasn't shown the card properly at the right time and the contestant is disqualified on over, like he has taken a lot of time or he has not taken the adequate time. So in that case, wouldn't like how would the contestant protest? Because the contestant has like had an unfair advantage because it is the timer's responsibility to show the time, or maybe the timer has like by mistake like overshoot has estimated more time than what he had done. So in that case also wouldn't the contestant have an opportunity to protest because it's I think it's a like a valid way to protest because it's a vital thing for your participation or
Thank you, Lokesh. A valid question. That is the reason there are 2 timers, first of all, in any contest. And as a timer, as I already told you, we need to be attentive at all times. That is why, as a timer, mostly area onwards, when you see, experienced members are put there because consciously at the back of the mind, if I'm going to be the timer for a contest, especially, I will be extra careful that, okay, 4 minutes, 50 seconds have gone by. Now get ready, get ready. So that kind of a seriousness should be there when you're selecting a role player. Secondly, things like this, 2 timers are there, we can always check out. And even if one timer drops out or fails to do, the other timer can be considered. But there are at times, this should not happen. Sometimes if it unfortunately happens, then I don't know, we can't do anything about it, I guess. Praveena, would you like to add on something in this? Maybe you think? It is unfortunate because every role, especially in a contest, not only contest, but even at the club level, because we need to be receptive of the speaker. We need to give that kind of, respect for the speaker and ensure that, the right candidate is picked.
Yes.
So it is very, have you faced any situation, Lokesh, or it just, this question has come out of the blue?
I have faced a similar situation, but not exact situation like this.
Okay, can you share so that we can know? Because it's usually 99.9% it never happens, because every role player who's selected, especially area upwards, they are really, I should say, conscientious of their work or the role they are doing. So if we have time, you can share what is the scene that you face, so then we can come up with something. Yeah, as of now. Yeah.
Yeah, as of
Any-
now, it's fine. I think you can go
Yeah.
ahead. if you
So
want
we
to.
will come back to you later. So during the contest, give your whole attention to the contest speech. Not only the voting judge, every role player, timer, our counter, sergeant at arms, everybody should be, paying their full attention, 100% attention. And that is what makes a contest 100% successful. Make points. If you're a voting judge, like, how different this, it is very difficult. Sometimes, all the contestants are extremely good, right? Because it is a prepared speech, they prepare at home and deliver it. So how do I differentiate? As voting judge, carry a blank paper, note down, okay, Lokesh has used a prop. Kusma has, raised the voice modulation. This person was very good in using dialogues. This person has an audience interaction. What stood out? So that when you mark, if there is a tie in your voting ballot, you can consider these points and mark on the ballot. Mark ballots in accordance with the judging criteria. We'll be showing the ballot, so please mark it accordingly. Pay attention to originality of the contest content, as I already discussed in the protest. Do not consider time taken by a contestant to complete the speech. That is not in your purview. Your job is to just pay attention, mark the candidates on certain parameters as set by Toastmasters International, and submit the ballots, pick the winners 1, 2, 3, and submit to the chief judge. Post the
Hello.
contest. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. So actually, I have a query. So if during the contest, if a speaker get disconnected while speaking, so how the procedure for judging will continue?
Yeah.
Supposing a contest happen.
Yeah,
Suppose
thank you
if
for
the contest is happening online. That
Yeah.
happens.
Suppose if it is happening online, suppose if the contestant is dropped out, then he's given 2 chances to rejoin, but is not able to kind of complete within that stipulated time of 7 minutes and some grace period, right? So what do you do as a voting judge? Whatever the contestant has spoken, even if the contestant has spoken for just 1 minute, you have to mark on the ballot based on that 1 minute speech what you heard of the contestant. Does it clarify? Instead of giving 0.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's clear. Pose the contest, what are you supposed to do? Tally and complete the ballot. Now, when you're tallying, please make sure that you count twice, thrice to ensure that the total is correct. Sometimes, although we may be good at maths, but simple addition of 3 and 4 also we tend to make mistake. So let us count and, pick the winners. sign, mention your name, write names of first, second, third place winners. Now it's very important because many a times, voting judges do not sign. So an unsigned ballot, is it counted? Is it valid or invalid?
Invalid.
Invalid, right? So it is, and a precious vote is lost. Imagine losing by 1 vote or 1 mark. It is really sad, right? Of course, nobody will know except the chief judge and the ballot counters, but still it pains, right? So let us not do that mistake. Please sign. And the chief judge, while giving the ballots to the voting judge, they have to ensure that the ballots are signed in front of the chief judge so that these kind of situations can be avoided after the contest. Now, if you're an offline contest, please submit the ballots to the assigned ballot counters. The chief judge will assign some ballot counter a day prior. Just send a hi on WhatsApp to them. Ensure that it is, their number so that you don't have any problem. And you can, give the ballot to them if it is an offline. If it is an online contest, only take the photo of the down portion of the ballot, click a photo, send it to the chief judge or the ballot counter or whatever. Sometimes the chief judge will tell you, send it to the ballot. Sometimes the chief judge will say, send it to me and the ballot. Sometimes I prefer, when I am the chief judge, I prefer creating groups for every voting judge, ballot counter, chief judge, so that the voting judge only has to send the ballot only once and there is no confusion at all. So people do it differently. And nowadays editable versions are available. So you can edit that and pick the winners and send it. Unsigned ballot will be invalid. Tear only the lower portion and submit. Upper portion to be destroyed away from the venue. If it is an offline, please take it home and discard it. Do not discuss the ballot with anyone, not even the contestant. Sometimes, we are inquisitive and we want to know, but please do refrain from doing it. Can we move on?
Rajani, we have
Yeah.
Praveena's hand raised. Yes, Praveena.
Yeah. Yes, Praveen.
I would like to add
Yeah.
one point here.
Yeah,
that
sure.
As a VJ, we are a team of CJ, right? The chief judge. And sometimes when it's very difficult to have many backups, maybe CJ is running the contest with the exact numbers. Like as we say, 5 minimum for a club contest. If suppose this type of mistake is done by any of the voting judge, then it becomes difficult because then the contest is not counted as valid. So as a team player, please make sure that you're signing it so that CJ is not in that position. Yeah.
Yes. And I would also like to add on, do not stick to that number, as our district director has kept this go beyond the dashboard, right? So if the rule book says 5, please ensure that you find 8 voting judges, because definitely on 1 day prior, you'll find, due to personal commitments, I'm so sorry, I am not well. So please keep all these things in mind. You as a CJ need to plan out in such a way that you have at least minimum 3 extra judges for that, right? Yeah, thank you, Praveena, for adding in. Shall we move on? Yeah, now this is the voting judge, ballot, where as a voting judge, you are required to study this ballot if you're going. Now, this is the voting ballot of the international speech contest, because I have taken it because club contest is around. So these are the criterias: content 50 marks, delivery 30 marks, language 20. So in all, on 100 points, you need to score a contestant. What is the speech development about? Did the speaker have a proper structure, proper opening, body, conclusion? Did the speaker engage the audience? Did they have supporting materials to substantiate their views, right? So all these things, on these parameters, you have to mark them. If you find that very good, then you can mark them between 11 to 14. If you find the speaker good, you can mark them anywhere from 6 to 10. fair 0 to 5, whatever it is. Effectiveness. Did the speaker relate directly to the purpose of a speech? Was the audience interest held by the speaker? So these are some of the things that you have to look for in effectiveness. Was this speech appropriate to the audience? Sometimes, the topic of selection is, completely disconnected with the audience. So all these things come in effectiveness parameters where you can judge whether if it is very good, 7 to 9, anywhere between 7 to 9, good, anywhere between 4 to 6, fair, 0 to 3. Speech value. Was the ideas, original? As we already talked about protest in this one. The listener should feel the speaker has made a contribution to the thinking. Suppose if the speaker has given a topic on maybe environment, am I, left with that thought? Yes, from today, I need to take a promise that I will, contribute in all ways to save the environment. Did the speaker leave you with that thought in mind? Then talking about physical appearance, body language, speaking area. Now, suppose the presentation of a speech carries, part of the responsibility for effective communication. Now, the speaker's appearance, whether the speech was sad, happy, accordingly, that should be reflected in their body language. I cannot go and deliver a sad speech smiling, right? And vice versa. So all these things have to be kept in mind. Speaking area, sometimes it is not within our purview, especially in an online club contest. Voice flexibility. Was the tone very monotonous, or was there a flexibility or the volume? So all these things can be taken into consideration. Manner. Was the speaker very, had that enthusiasm to deliver? Did he connect with the audience and make the audience feel important? So all these things can come in the way of directness, assurance, and enthusiasm. Appropriateness of language refers to the choice of words. Now, certain words, as in every club meeting, the Sergeant at Arms says, supportive and positive environment. Not only the environment, but in the words we speak and in the manner we deliver. So all these things can be taken into consideration. Appropriateness to this purpose and audience. Correctness in grammar. Sometimes, we are all non-native speakers, so it's all right that we cannot have that kind of pronunciations, but what we can do is grammatically correct sentences. You may deliver simple sentences, but ensure that it is grammatically correct. If you have any kind of issue, you can reach out to people, ask them to, vet your speech so that whatever simple sentences you're delivering, you are delivering grammatically correct sentences, because as a voting judge, incorrect grammar tends to mark you down in the ballot. Okay. So despite being non-native speakers, please ensure you may not use flowery language, you may not use hi-fi language, but simple language, but yet grammatically correct language delivery is very, very important. So these parameters are there: 7 to 9 for very good, 4 to 6, and fair is 0 to 3. Right. Shall we move on? Yeah, these we have covered. I think that brings us to the end of this session. I have prepared a kind of, you can stop sharing the screen. Thank you, Roma. I have prepared a small questionnaire in order to just see how, can you give me this sharing rights, please?
Yeah, just a second.
Yeah. So any kind of questions? Host is disabled. Any kind of question? Anyone has
We
any
had
query?
Saral's hand raised.
Yeah,
So-
Saral, in the meantime, you can ask if you have any doubt. Of course, most of the questions you're asking and you know the answer for that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
actually it is related to, about the clashing of club contests, especially when clubs are hosting the contest. So there is a paucity of voting judges.
What do you think? How can we solve this problem?
How?
Good question. We all of us are facing this problem. What do we do? As Toastmasters, as leaders, it's very important for us to plan ahead.
Yeah.
So planning is one thing which can get you better off than the rest of the. I'm not able to share the screen. Okay. Since I'm not able to share the screen, it's all right. I'm going to ask you questions
Ranjini,
directly.
can you send it to me? Can you send it to me if you want? I'll share.
Yeah, okay, 1 second. So in the meantime, I would like to ask Lokesh to share, something, because I'll just take a couple of minutes to share my.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this did not happen in a contest, so I don't
Okay.
want to digress away from the main topic and discuss this. So
Okay,
yeah, I
this
don't want
happened
to.
at a club level.
It happened at a club level.
Okay,
Yeah.
at a club level, it should not happen, even though we cannot say even though, because every speaker has spent time to write the speech, right? And they have put in a lot of efforts. So we should not be doing it ideally. That shows that you can call the timer next time and ensure that this does not happen. One thing which can be done is every new member who takes the role of a, kind of, what to say, timer, they should be, if they are especially new, they should be well trained at the club level itself. So that is one thing that can ensure that it does not happen. Just give me 1 second.
Hello, hi. So actually, I
Yeah.
wanted to ask one thing. So, this participant is using great vocabulary and he is very great. He or she is very great at English. So that's give them the privilege of getting more points on, or that
No.
doesn't matter. What
No,
the
no,
content
no.
matters.
No. See, using hi-fi language does not give you a added advantage over content, because 50% of the marks allocated on the ballot is for the content. Of course, language is 10 marks assigned for language, but that should not be the only cause that they get an upper hand. Does it answer? Sunita, I have shared with you. Are you able to on WhatsApp? Any other query or any other
Kusuma
chip
has
in?
raised hand. Kusuma.
Yeah. Yes.
I have a query.
Yes.
I mean, this is like many of the VJs, they have a tie. They themselves in their ballot paper, they have a tie, but they don't make a choice who should be, and they give it to the CJ. So is the CJ, can the CJ send it back to VJ and ask them to?
No. See, that is why I told you it is very important as a VJ, a voting judge, you need to be very, very attentive. So when I do this job, I take some points. Okay, Kusuma used prop. Okay, somebody used voice modulation. So, in this way, what happens is when you have a tie, you're able to go back to this notes and check, okay, was the props more, appealing to me rather than this? So let me give her one more, him or her one more. And that's how you, decide on pick the winner. Your job is to pick and never to leave a tie. So I've just prepared some random questions. I just want to know how effective was this training. Yeah, can we move on to the first slide, please? And I request all the, at least, members who have been in the community for some time not to answer and give chance for new members. The voting judge for a club contest can be from the same club, different club, both.
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 Okay.
Both.
Next, correct. And you can take the chocolate from PQD later. Next, for area contest voting judge, one of the criteria is completed level 1 and level 2, only be a paid member, CC 6 projects of old manual, or anyone between A and C.
In pathways first, completed level 1 and level 2.
Yeah, if you are enrolled after the pathways, then this stands. But CC projects will stand only for people who have enrolled before the rollout of pathways. Next. Yes, Praveen has raised the hand.
Yeah, I would actually would like to buy just 1 minute,
Yeah.
which is related to that question that you asked.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is one confusion when there is an area contest. Normally, the rule book says that we need to have the equal number of judges from each club that is participating. So in case CJ is, falling short of that count, that there are 2 members you can have or 2 voting judges you can have from one club, but one club is not able to give a single voting judge. Then in that situation, let us have it as a quiz. What will you do? Instead of me answering, let us have the answer.
Try to get it from outside, outside the area, if it is an area club.
Okay. So then in that case, all the judges will be from outside this, the clubs of this area. It should not be like if we are falling short of 2, then it will be replaced by somebody from the other area. If the CJ is not able to find the right number of voting judges, equal number of voting judges from each club, then please don't take a single voting judge from any of the club. Then take all the judges from outside. Okay.
Thank you so much, Praveena, for chipping in.
Thank you.
Voting judges should keep a track of timings of speakers and mark the contestants accordingly. Yes, no, sometimes.
No.
No, at all times.
No.
Yes. Yeah, next. Next slide, please. Yeah, the following cannot lodge a protest. Contest chair, contestant, audience.
Audience.
Audience. Very good. I hear only 2 voices. Same voice.
We
A
are
voting
typing
judge.
chat boxes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. A voting judge fails to sign the ballot. The ballot will be valid or invalid? Invalid. Can the chief judge call the voting judge and make the voting judge sign on the ballot? Oh, you have not signed, please sign. If it is an offline?
No.
No. Okay. A contestant drops out in an online contest midway and has overstepped the grace time. Okay. So he will not be given any grace time after the grace time is over. Mark the contestant 0, mark the contestant on the basis of whatever was presented.
No.
Second, mark the contestant on basis of even if the contestant has spoken even for 30 seconds, 1 minute, you have to, there is no other choice. Next. Next we have, which of the following is prohibited for a voting judge? Profile picture displayed, video turned on, logged in with full name. This is applicable for an online contest or all the above. All the above. Yes, correct. Next, if the voting judge has forgotten to sign the ballot, the chief judge can call the voting judge and get the ballot signed. Of course, we just discussed a lot of times. Yes, false. In case the contest chair announces the names of winners incorrectly, who can intervene? Chief judge, ballot counters, voting judge.
Chief judge.
Chief judge.
Only the chief judge?
Even the ballot counter.
Even the ballot counters.
The ballot counter.
Yeah. See, sometimes, you will not get both 1 and 2. Can a voting judge be asked to play the sergeant at arms in the same contest? He or she is a voting judge as there is no other member in the club to take up the role.
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So that brings us to the end of this session. Any other query? I hope it was at least a little bit useful, considering that many of the clubs are about to begin their club contests. If nobody has any query, then we'll call it a day. Anyone wants to chip in? We have 3 more minutes exactly. Anybody wants to chip in anything like how Lokesh shared his viewpoint?
I have a query for the chief judge.
Yeah.
So the query is like, supposing 2 contestants have opted out for the area contest or the division contest, and we need the 3rd and the 4th person, right? So At that time, where is the winner's list? Is it with the chief judge or does he give it to the VP head? Or do we have to contact the district for this?
Yeah, for area contest, the winners list are sent to the area director. So they have the list. So if you are a CJ at the area contest, you can contact your area director. You will get the details.
Okay.
So a
Thank you.
quick recap, I would say, since there is no query. So
There
before,
is a
Pankaj has
hand
a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Pankaj Singh.
Yes, Pankaj.
Yeah, my question is that let's suppose I become voting judge in one club, and in our club I want to participate in ISC. So can I be participate in the in my club because I have already performed as voting judge in other club.
Yeah.
So in that case,
Suppose, yeah, if your club contest is next week and you have been called as a voting judge the previous week in another club, that is all right. But if your club contest has happened last week, and if you're a winner, first, second, third position, right? Then ideally, ethically, it is not correct for you to go as a voting judge to any other club.
okay, thank you
Right?
so much.
Yeah. Any other query? See, once I remember, it's a freak instances happen like this, right? Once the first place winner could not go to the area level because he was out of country. That time there was no Zoom meeting. Second place winner had health issues, and third place winner went on to represent. So it could happen. So ideally, if your club contest has not taken place, then you may go. If it has already taken place and if you're featured in the first, second, third, ethically it is not correct. Yeah, any other query?
Nothing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Roma. Just give me a minute. Thank you, Roma.
Okay.
Thank you, Pravina, for chipping in and being there. And thank you, Sunita, for giving me this opportunity. And dear members, I hope it was of some use to you before the international speech contest. And happy judging and happy voting, judge. And good night. Over
Thank
to you,
you so
Roma.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, both of you. Now, just before closing in, requesting our PQD Sunita, she has some information, some announcement. Sunita, over to you.
I don't really have any other announcements than the fact that today is the last day for your early bird registrations for Eloquence. So please do the same. Thank you, Roma, for taking this role. I was at some other event and she stepped in to take this. Thank you so much for helping me out, and brilliant session, Ranjini and Pravina. I mean, I couldn't have chosen better than you two to hold this session today. And one thing I just want to add, which probably Ranjini nor Pravina touched upon, is that when you choose your voting judges, try to have both equal amount of sexes. Like if there are 3 male, have 3 female. Try to get, at least at your club contest, somebody who's new, somebody who's experienced. Don't get all DTMs and think that you're going to get a great result. No, have a mix. Female concepts on certain topics are different. Male concepts on certain topics are different. If you want the best people from your club or area to win and go ahead, then carefully choose your VJs. Don't bring in कि सब मेरे दोस्त हैं आ जाओ. Don't do that. Just think carefully who you're taking. Not all DTMs, not all newbies. Just balance it out and have a good set of people trying to judge the contest. Then I'm sure that you will be happy with your results and you'll not go unhappy with whatever the results have come. That's it from me. Thank you so much. I know today we did a whole 2-hour session, but thank you for being patient and being here. I hope you all have filled in the form, because we will also reach out. We have also started a contest squad for some of the questions that if you have last minute dropouts of VJs or certain contest officials, you can reach out to this team and we'll help. So we'll also use this training session form that you have filled, as you all have been trained. And we will send out probably your contacts to people who are searching for VJs who have probably last minute dropped out. So do step up, do step in and help clubs of District 98 have a great contest this season, and see you all at Eloquence. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.